this is my review of Sonic X. Okay, so this is the final episode of the first saga of the anime, and it's the second half of Beating Eggman. So, Beating Eggman Part 2 starts off with both of the respective parties doing their own thing. So, the military is still infiltrating Eggman's base. Rouge, Topaz, and their team are still trying to get to the power room, but they're having a bit of trouble because Eggman has a lot of robots guarding the place. And obviously it's going to be a little hard to get past the robots. Fortunately, Knuckles happened to have hitched a ride on one of the military plane's missiles and actually infiltrates the base and helps them get to the power room, which they spend the majority of the episode getting to. And they do eventually get to the power room and do eventually lay down the charges, which will enable them to destroy Eggman's power supply and effectively cripple his base. But then they get locked inside when Sonic and his friends show up, and they have to lock everybody in because they can't figure out who's who. Meanwhile, Eggman is away at the base. He's away from the base. He's trying to get Fun to steal the Chaos Emerald, and sure enough, he has Tails on the ropes. Tails is unable to fight back because he's been stunned, and Fun is about to crush Tails' X-Tornado under his foot, and since it's a really big robot, is saying quite a lot. However, Sonic manages to show up at the last second and knocks Fun over, which sends Eggman flying due to the fact that Fun is a giant fan and quite literally blows him away. And afterwards, Tails explains why they were there in the first place after thanking Sonic and tries to retrieve the Yellow Chaos Emerald, but then Fun gets back up and Sonic, with the power of the ring, is able to destroy it. At which point, Dr. Eggman snatches the Yellow Chaos Emerald away from Tails, and Sonic and his friends tail after him in the X-Tornado. At which point, the two plots converge, with the military still trying to destroy Eggman's base. But now Dr. Eggman is back home and sees what's going on, and decides to fight back because he believes that the military doesn't stand much of a chance, unaware that people have already infiltrated his base and are laying charges as we speak. So he gets into the base, and despite initial confusion because he's approaching the base from the air, and it's kind of a hectic situation, he does eventually manage to get into his base and gets into his central command system, and then starts firing missiles off at everything. However, despite this, the X-Tornado was able to punch a hole into the side of Eggman's base, and Sonic gets through, and slowly makes his way through the base as he tries to figure out where Dr. Eggman is and where he put the Chaos Emeralds. However, Dr. Eggman is prepared for Sonic this time and has prepared a giant robot named Gerhard to actually defeat Sonic with. Gerhard is pretty massive and almost immediately overwhelms Sonic. Sonic, despite being the fastest thing alive, is unable to actually keep up with Gerhard because Gerhard is just able to outmatch his speed with brute strength, and is able to pin Sonic to a wall. However, eventually the situation with Rouge, Topaz, and her team come up, and Dr. Eggman eventually realizes that bad people have already infiltrated his base, and also he brags to Sonic about how he will be unable to defeat Gerhard because it has 2 Chaos Emeralds in it, revealing in the process that he actually put the Chaos Emeralds inside the robot, and Sonic, figuring this out too, smashes into Gerhard's chest, takes the Chaos Emeralds, and ultimately completely and utterly destroys Gerhard as well as the rest of the base while he's at it. He casually just goes through the entire base, destroying it piece by piece, and this enables Rouge and her team to actually get out, and her team actually escapes. And sure enough, Eggman's base is destroyed, and Sonic and the military are regaled as heroes by the people of Station Square, who, through word of mouth, now all know who Sonic is. So, overall, this episode was a great way to end off the first saga. It shows that now Dr. Eggman has been crippled significantly, which begs the question of what is he going to do next? Because there's still a lot more episodes left in the series, and Dr. Eggman kind of got defeated right away, but I'm assuming he'll be back and better than ever whenever he decides to rear his ugly head again. But Sonic is officially known to the people as a hero, And also, he has 3 of the 7 Chaos Emeralds in his possession now. So he now has so now Eggman has no Chaos Emeralds, and there's still 4 Chaos Emeralds left to go. But yeah, it does beg the question of how are things going to go forward from here, because Eggman's been crippled, and Sonic is now well known by everybody, including the military and the people of Station Square. So it begs the question: how are things going to play out from here? I mean, Sonic has pretty much done what he usually does. He breaks into Eggman's base, saves the day, but there's still a couple more Chaos Emeralds lying about, and they're still stuck in Station Square. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting seeing what they do next, because now they have to find the remaining Chaos Emeralds before Eggman does, who is currently busy rebuilding his base and is most likely going to strike back in the next episode or the episode after. So it's going to be interesting seeing what exactly it is that goes on. And also, Rouge is still working for the military, so I'm presuming the military are still going to be involved at some point. But it is going to be interesting, because now they also know that Knuckles exists when they didn't previously, and now it's going to be a situation of how is Knuckles going to be playing into the story now? Because now both the military knows who he is, and he's sort of kind of not friends with Sonic. So it's going to be a little bit interesting. How is Knuckles going to play into future storylines? What is he going to do? What is he going to try and accomplish for everybody and stuff like that? But yeah, this episode is just good. It's a little complicated trying to keep up with everything, because there's a lot of A plots and B plots that are happening at the same time, and it's very hard to keep those straight sometimes. I did a pretty good job, I think, but yeah, there's not much. There is the question of what's going to happen next. So that's really where I'm going to leave it, I think. So in any case, I think I'm going to leave this episode here. So if you did like this episode of Sonic X and my subsequent review of it, then what did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also check out my Patreon in the description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month. It really helps me out. And you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks that I'm my way saying thanks. So be sure to check those out in the description below as well. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.